Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the MLB slate on DraftKings for Tuesday, June 26th. We have a 14-game slate tonight. Definitely a slate with a lot of pitching options. There are five guys over 10K, definitely studs on this slate. There are mid-tier plays as well, some decent value, I guess, like guys like in the 7K range I like for cheap. So a lot of pitchers, definitely bad pitchers on this slate though as well, so there's going to be stacks we want to go to. A lot of teams have high implied run totals. We'll take a look at the pitchers I like. We'll talk about the pitching options I'm going to target on this slate. Then we'll talk about the bats I like, BVP plays, and we will go over stacks as well. Look at some of the implied run totals. But before we do get started, guys, make sure you drop a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, if you are new, make sure you click that subscribe button down below. So that way you won't miss out on any of my new uploads. So these five options we have over 10K today. Starting up top, you got Luis Severino, Corey Kluber, James Paxton, Charlie Morton, and Ross Stripling. Those are five guys we have on DraftKings that are over 10K that are available today. Just focusing on these five guys, the guys that I think I'm going to be playing, Severino, Kluber, and Paxton are probably the three guys I'm mainly focused on. Definitely my favorite here, though, is James Paxton, 12,500 versus the Orioles. I just love James Paxton here. I think he has a lot of upside. This Orioles team is just so bad. Look at their projected lineup for tomorrow. They only have a 3.9 implied run total. There are a ton of strikeouts in their projected lineup. Really the only good hitter that the Orioles have, I feel like, is Manny Machado. Guys like Craig Gentry, Adam Jones, Trumbo, Valencia, Mancini. Some of these guys have power versus lefties, but still they will strike out a lot. Just love Paxton here. I wish it was playing at home in Seattle and Safeco. But even in Camden Yards, I still think this is a good spot for Paxton, in a spot where he can rack up strikeouts. I also think Severino has a really good strikeout matchup if you wanted to pay up for him at 13,100. If I just had to rank these three guys, factoring in price, I'd definitely go Paxton number one, then Severino, then Kluber. I think all three guys are in play, but Paxton and Severino are kind of the ones I'm really focused on. Kluber, definitely like versus the Cardinals, but if I have to just pick one, I think I'd go Severino. But if I was like playing three lineups today, I'd probably include one guy in each lineup play. A lineup with Paxton, a lineup with Severino, and a lineup with Kluber. Like if you're playing 3-max tournament or something, you could definitely go that way. I'm not really interested in Charlie Morton or Ross Stripling today. Just at their price tags, I'd much rather have some of the other guys that are available up top. But then looking at value, there is some value I like at pitcher today. Like in this 7K range, I think we have decent options here. Freddie Peralta is definitely my favorite. SP2 is 7,900. I will be pairing him with Paxton. If we just focus on some of the other guys, I think Frankie Montas here, 7,600 against the Tigers. Definitely in play if you want to go down to him. Derek Collins sucks. He's not a very good pitcher, but he is 7,400, somewhat cheap. At home in AT&T, great pitcher's park. The Rockies do sort of struggle outside of Coors Field. You could definitely consider Derek Collins here at 7,400 if you want to go to him as a cheap value play. Then looking like sub 7K for the really cheap value, maybe Blaine Hardy at 6,600 against Oakland. I could see him getting like 15 to 20 DraftKings points here. That gets the job done at 6,600 if you wanted to go that cheap. Maybe Chad Bettis, 5,400, good pitcher's park against a pretty bad team, a team that does strike out. Chad Bettis probably be the value play I would consider if I was just trying to punt. But I think that is it for pitcher, for the options I really like. Now going back to my two plays, already talked about Paxton, but Freddie Peralta, really like him here versus the Royals. Peralta has made 3 starts this year with the Brewers. Had 2 really, really good starts against the Rockies in Coors Field. He got 13 strikeouts in 5 2/3 innings. Only allowed 1 hit and 2 walks. Then against the Pirates, he pitched 6 innings, only allowed 2 hits, got 7 strikeouts. Sort of struggled against Minnesota, only getting 5 Ks through 4 innings, allowing 3 hits and 4 runs. But through 2 of those 3 starts for Freddie Peralta, he's been great. I think this is a spot where he can have a good start as well. Against the Royals team that will be traveling to the National League. It's going to lose their DH. It's a good hitter's park, but this Royals lineup, not really good offensively, going to lose their DH. Only have a 3.3 implied run total for today. When you get down to like the 6 through 9 of this lineup, it's pretty bad with Alex Gordon, Escobar, Adalberto, Mondesi, Jake Junis. There are a lot of strikeouts at the bottom of that lineup. Even with guys like Whit Merrifield, they will still strike out a decent amount, especially versus righties. Like Sal Perez doesn't strike out a ton, but versus righties will strike out. At least has an increased K rate versus righties. Freddie Peralta is a good strikeout pitcher, has really good strikeout stuff, and I just really like him here at 7,900. You pair him with Paxton, That still leaves you 3,700 remaining per player, which I think you can definitely work around today. And now looking at bats, the hitters that I really want to go to on this slate, we'll start off at first base. There's a cheap value play I like here. There's a team I like for value if you want to consider them. That is the Padres. And I like Eric Hosmer here at 3,800 in a great matchup versus Austin Bibbins-Dirks. Austin Bibbins-Dirks has made a couple starts this year. I've definitely picked on him in some of those starts. Sometimes it has worked out, sometimes it hasn't. But I feel like this is one of those spots where Bibbins-Dirks could struggle. It's going to be a great hitter's park here in Texas. It's going to be really good hitting weather. Both of the teams in this game have over a 5 implied run total. The Padres and Rangers both have a 5.1 implied run total as I'm recording this video. Going to be 99 degrees in a good hitter's park. Like both sides of this game, there's a lot of value hitters in this game, Eric Hosmer being one of them. Batting third versus a bad righty and a great hitter's park and great hitting weather. I think Hosmer makes a ton of sense at first base if you're trying to go cheap there. And then my next play is going to be a shortstop, a really cheap value play I like here as well. It's under 4K. I like Kike Hernandez, just 3,500 versus John Lester. Now, John Lester, not really a pitcher I believe in, a pitcher that I think is actually not that great. John Lester kind of gotten really lucky this year. He's definitely been giving up hard contact, especially to righties. And Kike Hernandez is a guy that's always hit lefties well. He's hit John Lester well in the past. He's got some decent BVP. Gone 5 for 16 with 2 home runs, a 313 average. Kike should be batting at the top of the lineup, should be batting at least second. He might actually lead off versus Lester. Kike doesn't have a ton of speed, but we know Lester struggles to hold on runners. So maybe they'll just let Kike run, especially because of Lester and how he won't throw over to first base. I do like him here at 3,500. Has power versus lefties. Shown a lot of power this year with 12 home runs already. Could definitely see him taking Lester deep. So if you're trying to go cheap at shortstop or in the outfield, you can play Hernandez in the outfield. I'd probably play him at shortstop just because outfield's usually always a deep position. But he's definitely a good value play wherever you play him. 3,500. And then my final guy at third base, another cheap value play. All my 5 plays are going to be under 4K, so definitely giving you some value at hitter. Really like Kyle Seager today. He's only 3,700 versus Kevin Gausman. Kevin Gausman is a pitcher I don't really believe in. I think he has some talent, but I definitely don't mind picking on him in the right spots. I think this is one of those right spots. The Mariners are a very good offensive team. This is going to be a good hitter's park in Camden Yards. This lineup has a ton of talent, especially at the top, with D. Gordon, Gene Segura, Haniger, Cruz, Seager. So many guys at the top of that lineup have power. They have speed as well. I could definitely see Gausman really struggling here and giving up some homers. Kyle Seager could be a guy that takes him deep. He's done well against Gausman in the past. 3 for 11 with the home run. So I like Seager here. He's cheap. Should be batting 4th or 5th at only 3,700. I think he makes a lot of sense as a value play if you're looking to go cheap at third base. 3,700. But yeah, guys, these are my 5 plays for tonight's 14-game slate. These are 5 guys that I definitely think I'll have in some of my lineups. James Paxton, Freddie Peralta, Eric Hosmer, Kyle Seager, and Kike Hernandez. Now we will talk about some stacks for today. Some of the BVP plays on this slate before we do get out of here. So my favorite stack on this slate, I'd say it's probably going to be the Padres, especially when you factor in their price tags. These guys are so cheap. Austin Bibbins-Dirks, a pitcher that I want to pick on. I like the Padres here with a 5.1 implied run total. A good hitter's park here as well, a good hitting weather. I really like the Padres. I think the other side of that game with the Rangers is another place you could look to. I think just a game stack in general. Padres-Rangers is a spot I really want to go to. And then back up top to like the early games, I think the Mariners are definitely in play versus Kevin Gausman, especially at the top of that lineup with the guys that have power with Segura, Mitch Haniger, Seager, even D. Gordon. He's cheap. You know D. Gordon, if he gets on base, is always a threat to steal bases. Wouldn't mind D. Gordon as well. Do like the Mariners as a stack. But it's mainly the Rangers-Padres game. That's where I'm really focused on with a game stack with just value plays. Really like that game in general. But yeah, moving on to BVP. The batters that have done well against the pitchers they are facing. Looks like there's about 9 or 10 BVP plays, so I'll just cover those for the main slate. Kyle Seager, 3 for 11 with a home run versus Gausman. Mentioned that earlier. Denard Span, 6 for 13 versus Kevin Gausman. Albert Pujols has gone 10 for 31 with 2 home runs versus David Price. And Andrelton Simmons, 3 for 12 with the home run versus David Price. Kurt Suzuki, 4 for 16 with 2 home runs versus Matt Harvey. Kike Hernandez, his BVP I mentioned earlier, 5 for 16 with 2 home runs versus Lester. Chris Iannetta, 10 for 31 with the home run versus Derek Holland. Brandon Belt, 9 for 22 with a home run versus Chad Bettis. And Joe Panik is 5 for 15 with the home run versus Bettis. And then if we scroll down to the pitchers that have done well in their matchups, Jake Arrieta, he has done well against the Yankees in the past, but that is definitely not going to get me on Arrieta. Arrieta just hasn't looked good this year. I don't think he's really the pitcher he used to be. The Yankees, though, have struggled to hit him, only hitting him for a .215 average through 65 ABs. And then John Lester, he has done well against the Dodgers. Dodgers have only hit Lester for a .198 average, only 23 hits, 9 extra base hits, 4 home runs through 116 at-bats. Don't really like the Dodgers as a stack today, but the righties like Justin Turner, Kike Hernandez, I think those are guys you can definitely play today versus Lester, because I feel like they're going to be low owned, and Lester is not really a pitcher I believe in. But then the pitchers that have done poorly, that have struggled in their matchups, the only pitcher on the main slate that struggled is Derek Holland. He has done poorly against the Rockies. Coors Field definitely should be factored in here, though. Derek Holland allowing a .342 average through the Rockies. The Rockies have hit him for a .342 average. 26 hits, 10 extra base hits, and 5 home runs through 76 ABs. But yeah, guys, I think that's it for BVP and PVB on the main slate, this 14-game slate. And I think that is it for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it did help you. If you did enjoy, just make sure you click that like button down below. If you have not subscribed yet, make sure you do subscribe. If you have any questions, you can always hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT, or feel free to leave a comment down below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, guys, I think that's it for this 14-game slate. Good luck tonight, and we will see you again tomorrow. Peace.